Hi guys, this is Mia from MiMoDesignLaserFiles, and today I'll show you how to assemble this new version of fairy lights. So it has a door that you can open and you can take out your battery for easy replacing of the battery if it runs dry. In the bottom you can turn it off and on, and since this isn't adjusted, you can actually push it up, which means that you can use this as both a ornament for hanging, or you can use it as a shelf sitter. So this can stand on its own, but depending what purpose you want it to be, I recommend that you think about what thickness of material you're using. So this one is 4mm, 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 2.5 and 4mm. So in total this is around 2 centimeters thick, which is a lot. Last year I made some fairy lights animals, and they weren't as thick because I used this hardboard that I have that is slightly thinner. So when you get the file, you want to think about what thickness you want the ornament to be. So as said, these are 4mm. In the files you'll have a front pattern. Because I just made a painting tutorial, I already glued my front pattern on top of this hold back. But you'll have a front pattern of some sort. I'll make this tutorial pretty generic, so this will work for all my future projects. But you'll have a front pattern of some sort, and you'll have a layer with holes. I recommend that you cut these from thin material. The thinner material you cut these from, the thinner the ornament will be. But if you want it thick, go ahead and cut it from a little thicker. For the sliding door, it consists of a back, and as said, I already pre-painted mine. So this will be the back of the back, and then you have this layer that the door will go to, so it can open like that. So these I would also suggest that you make from thinner material. The only thing that's crucial, and you have to make almost exact thickness, is this divider. So you need to cut this from 6mm or 1/4 inch, and the reason for that is that your fairy lights, I'll just grab one, these fairy lights are 6mm thick almost. So you want something that is equal to the height of your battery holder. I don't have any 6mm or 1/4 inch, so instead I'm using my 4mm and this 2.5. Because I'm using this, it will actually be 6.5mm, which gave me a little problem because mine is falling out. But an easy fix to do that, or to fix that, is to take some teacher's gum or something like that, and you can just take a piece, place it on your battery pack, and make sure you have the cord in place, and push down your battery holder where you want it to be, and you can now add your door. So now it will not move, and neither will my door because it's pushed out from the battery. But you can see that my divider is slightly thicker than the battery itself. I will use the same for this one, so I know pre-hand that it will be slightly thicker. But this one, again, 1/4 inch material. The other stuff is up to you. So if you don't have 1 4-inch, you could use 2 layers of 1 8-inch, like I'm doing here, and just glue them together. So back to assembling. The editions I made last year with the animals and also nativity lightning ornament had these scored indicators on where to add the lights, and you needed a glue gun. This year I decided to work on, first of all, some matching products. These are 2 of them. I made countdowns as well. And also I'll have a single layer ornament with this arabesque pattern. I'll show you that in another video. But I wanted this to be a little easier to assemble than the ones with the scored marks. So what you want to do is glue your front or your pattern on the front like this, and you could go ahead and watch how I painted and glittered up all of these. And also you could wait with the front pattern until the end. But for the lights, I'll show you a little trick, because it's actually really easy this time. So once you've glued your front on top, or you can wait, you take your divider, and since mine is in 2 parts, I'll just glue it together real quick. So I'll add glue, and I'm using super glue. You could use wood glue or anything else. But I'll layer mine so they are the same thickness as the battery. And it's pretty important that you layer these as perfect as possible. If you're not great at layering, I suggest that you use some wood glue or some glue that isn't drying as fast, because the better you align these to each other, the prettier your edge will be on the side of the ornament. So once you have your divider, you just go ahead and glue it on top of the back of the front. And again, you have to be careful when you're aligning it, that you align it perfectly. So I now have my base. Now it's time to add the lights. I already unwrapped one, because these are a little difficult to unwrap sometimes, so I have one here. And this is way easier than last year, because now you just kind of twirl your lights together like this, and you just randomly place them wherever you want them to be. You take your battery cap, I think I'll add mine like this. And it's actually a good idea that once you have your battery cap in place, use some tape, something like that. So this is just painter's tape, and I'll just place it here so I have control of my battery cap. And then you can place your lights however you want them. If you turn them on, you could see where these bulbs will go, and you just fold and pinch the cord together. Since fairy lights are wires, you can bend them as you wish. And I think mine will do now. So I'll just flip it over and see if I have light coming out of my holes. I do. Might even push down these just a tiny bit. And of course my tape loosens. So like that. You could use some tape or something else if you want to. You could just take some regular clear tape and just add a few pieces here and there. I do recommend that you don't get the tape over the hole, because that will kind of blur the lights from showing. So tiny strips of tape if you want to, or you could just glue your pieces on top now. But let me just secure these. And I now have everything in place. So I'll remove my tape here, and I'll then carefully add some glue to my divider. Like that. And you now want the part that has this, this part that has this engraved lid part. So you place that on top and you align it. And since I'm using super glue, I can just hold it together. And you're almost done. So now you can see the lights, and these doesn't move at all because I used tape. I didn't use tape on this one, and they are pretty snug either way. So if you have some issues, if your lights are coming down towards you, you could just push them up like this. And because I use super glue, I'll just make sure that I didn't get a lot. And these tabs I didn't. Let me just turn this off. So you place this loose, don't glue it, and make sure that you didn't have glue on it already. And then you add your back. So I actually think you should glue this one, so you're sure that you don't glue up this door. So I'll just add some super glue. And again, align it, and place it. And once you have this in place, go ahead and take your little door here. And I actually want to color this part in because I know that will be visible. So let me just grab a green pen of some sort. Like that. And now you carefully place your door and gently pull it out. And make sure that it's glued together. When you engrave this one, I suggest that you engrave it with a little more power, so you can remove some material from this. That will help it to slide better. Also, if you don't find it to be sliding well enough, you could take some sandpaper. I only think I have a sand block, But you could then go ahead and sand the edges like this to remove a little more material and also smoothen it down. So mine is the perfect fit, so I don't have that issue. And here's actually the finished result. So assembling of this took around 10 minutes, you guys. So this one is really easy. I think my lights are malfunctioning. I might have moved the cord. So let's do it again. So it's actually done. Since I used plywood and my glue didn't dry up over here, I'll just add some more of my super glue to the open edges and just hold it together. But since I used plywood, you can see that the light is showing on the outside. If you watched my painting tutorial, you might have noticed that I said I would color the edges like these. So I'll actually show you how to do that now, as soon as this one dries in, which should only take about 10 seconds. Okay, so I'll turn off the lights again. And for the front, on this one, I use this champagne colored. It's actually lacquer, I think you call it. So what I want to do is to take a paintbrush of some sort, and I'll just paint these edges. I'm going to add some glitter on this afterwards as well. And for these edges you could also use acrylic paint or chalk paint or whatever you want. You could even stain them. But I'll speed up the video just a tiny bit and show you once I'm done. When you get to the door, I suggest that you take out the door and your battery, so you don't get paint stuck on the battery. But this is pretty easy, and actually I've only been recording for 17 minutes now. So it's safe to say that this is an easy project, although it looks like it's a lot of work. So I'll just let this dry just a second and take the bottom of the door. Like that. And you don't have to, but I like the back of the door to be a little pretty as well. So I'll just wipe over some paint on that part as well. And I should have sanded it, but that's okay. You don't really see the back anyway. So that's the base color. If you have some paint that was stuck, you could just take your chalk paint, or I use chalk paint for mine, or whatever you used, and just clean those edges up again. So for this one I also applied glitter. I use gold glitter for this one. I'll use silver for the other version. So this is also a type of varnish, so it's kind of glue with glitter in it. So I'll just take a round foam brush and I'll kind of stamp it onto the sides. So this isn't totally dry yet, but I think I might be able to do it anyway. So you just dab it on top. And if you want to have more glitter to it, you could take some fine glitter, and once you're done with this, you could then add some more. But for this one, I prefer to have more of the color showing and less glitter. But I do love glitter, so I'll add glitter to almost everything I make. Especially things that light up, like this ornament does. So that's the side. And I don't know if you can see it, but this is beautiful. So I'll add some to the front as well. And again, I'm just kind of stamping. Just stamp a little up. And I'm not pushing very hard because then it might go down to my green glitter. And I don't want that. I only want the pattern and the surface. And for the front, I might even take a little more glitter. So let me just see if I can find the silver. There it was. So for this method, you take some fine glitter of some sort and you open the bottle or can or whatever, and this brush is already filled with varnish. So just slightly dab it over, and this fine glitter will be stuck to the varnish, so you actually don't have to seal it afterwards because this won't fall off. So you might see the difference, although it's not really. And you can add as much or as little as you like, but that's really that. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more of my tutorials, you could find them on my channel, and I hope you'll like and subscribe because that would mean a lot to me. These files can be bought from Etsy or allstarsdesign.com. The links are available in the description of this tutorial. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon.